Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining our webinar today. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email. Garrett and I are going to showcase some of the unique features Collavate has to enable your team to work together, even when you're all working remotely.
Yeah, and we know it can be pretty difficult to work in a remote team. Adjusting can take a little bit of time, and Matt and I are going to share a few tips that we've gathered from working in a remote location with you today, and we're also going to share a few problems that don't really have a direct technological solution and require a bit more of a soft touch.
That's right. So let's start with a few basics. The first thing we want to touch on is ensuring you keep regular contact with your team members. Make sure you chat at least daily, if not more often. Use different types of communication too, including chats, voice calls, and video calls. Video helps keep communication fresh, and it eliminates the difficulty of trying to gauge tone and emotion through a text chat or email or emoji even.
And here at Collavate, we really do our best to keep in close communication with all of our different offices, right? We have a few international offices, and working across those time zone differences and continents really has its difficulties. But with dedication, clear communication, it really can be simple. We use a bunch of different tools to communicate here, and we have weekly meetings face-to-face with our team, daily chats where we share some of our progress, and we're always in connection through Google Hangouts or through Collavate itself. And that's really where the bulk of our collaboration work gets done. We use it for the post features, group features, and to gather feedback and critique on our projects. It allows for in-depth conversations and also keeps track of separate threads and posts for clarity and compartmentalization.
So with Collavate, you don't have a single wall of text in a chat to search through or scroll. You could save posts, send links to conversations or comments, all while Collavate stores the communication so you can come back to it at any point. I know that when creating our ISO system, I learned heavily on Collavate to gather information on our development, sales, and management practices outside of our US-based operations. It helped keep everything straight and to translate communication when there was not a shared language between myself and who I was working with.
Yeah, so what we're going to do now here is show you a quick demo of how our post function works and allows seamless collaboration between users anywhere in the world. Here you can see that we're on the home page of Collavate, and you can see that the interface is pretty familiar. There's a comment box, a post here. On more text-based posts, you have the option to like something, like this picture that Jane posted to our daily sharing group. And it allows you to really start a conversation around all of these things. So, hey, I like this picture, right? And you post that, and you can be assured that that comment goes directly to Jane. But let's say I wanted Matt to see this picture. I can also tag him in this, say, take a look. And he'll get that notification and be able to come in and also add his comments or feelings on this specific thing. So if you see I got a notification right there, we're going to click it and we'll see Matt's post. He tagged me, hey, how was your day going? And you can see all of this different interaction is stored on a timeline from the most recent post or activity to the least recent post or activity. These functions make it really easy for you to communicate with stakeholders. It allows you to post a document like Matt did here, and I had a comment saying, hey, this is great, but some of the wording needed to be changed, so I told him to add something in the second paragraph. We also use Collavate to post our daily workflow. We can track our progress and track our tasks as the week progresses in this very simple way. At the end of the week, we do submit reports, but we'll show you a bit more about that in a few minutes here.
Our post function makes it easy to start a conversation with anyone in your organization. When you create a post, it'll show up in the whole domain's feed for anyone to read and reply.
Yep, and you can comment with attachments, photos, or documents directly to someone else's comment or to the post itself. But what if you're in a situation where you don't want that information to be public? What if you only need a small group of people or just your team to review or talk about something specific?
That happens often in many companies where some communication should be kept separate from the whole company. Whether it's financial information or some awesome new development you're working on, you can use our group function to keep specific people or teams in the loop.
Yeah, and we use groups for every department here at Collavate. We have US and international sales group, marketing and development groups, and more general groups for just different people within Collavate to collaborate with one another. Let's take a look at what some of those groups might look like. Here again, we're just on the home field of Collavate. And you can see over here in the sidebar, there's a group posts option. Normally this would be collapsed, but here we have it open already. You can see that there are a ton of groups added within this domain. The only one that we really want to take a look at today is my favorite group, the daily sharing group. Now this is a group that we use just to talk a little bit about what has gone on through our day, share some funny pictures with the team members, and also just, chat with one another because we aren't close to each other. I know Matt and I share an office, but it can be difficult to, maintain communication with other people that we're working closely with. One other benefit of having a group post is being able to take advantage of a group folder that allows you to create and work together more intuitively by creating documents and adding documents directly to that group folder. So we can actually post and upload anything directly to this group, and it will stay shared with everyone that's attached to the group in this group folder. So these are shared with everyone and accessible through your Google Drive. Communication is one of the most crucial parts of teleworking, and just make sure that you talk to your teammates and your employees often. I think that our group feature really makes this a bit simpler.
Yeah, and on a related note, remember to talk about more than just work. It can be really difficult to remember that remote teams have lives outside of the work communications that you have with them. Talking about their lives and interests, common subjects, helps keep a strong morale and leaves your team members feeling more appreciated and in the loop.
That's a great point, Matt. When you don't work in an office or see someone's face every day, it can be tough to remember that we're not all just robots. Our next point is tracking projects and deliverables. A bit different than this, though. It's important to get employee-submitted or third-party tracked accounting of hours worked, along with attendance information for your employees and some productivity metrics that you set. This gives you a more accurate picture of what your employees are doing with their workdays away from the office.
Yeah, and here at Collavate, we use a great software, you might have guessed it, called Collavate to do this. We track daily activities for our contracted developers and our interns, and actually the rest of our employees submit a report of progress and tasks on a weekly basis. This helps our salaried employees focus on keeping their projects moving forward instead of worrying about parsing them into smaller intermediate tasks. The benefit of this is tracking accomplishments instead of activity. Some roles are dependent on others, and it may not seem like much has been done, even if there has been a milestone accomplishment. We're going to show you a quick demo on how to create, track, and submit a daily and weekly task list for your team's use and submission.
So if you take a look at my screen here, you can see on the left-hand side of the Collavate menu, there's an option that says template. And when you go here, this is just a repository of templates that have been set up for your domain specifically. Now, there are some templates that come baked into Collavate and other templates we've created ourselves. what we're going to take a look at today is this test tracker template that I've set up specifically for this webinar. When we click on it, you can see that there's a daily task sheet. It pulls the date, and it allows you to add your name and enter a bunch of other information. Before you can do this, you have to click Use Template. Once you're editing the template, you can see that it takes you to our iframe mode here. And this allows you to have a full Google Docs editor and also a process editor here. Now, if you'll notice, all of these options here within the process for workflow are grayed out. That's because, as the administrator of this template, I locked it. So anyone using this template has to submit to this specific group of 4 people. You can see that when I unlock it, you can edit these and make any changes necessary, but that's something that only I personally can do. You can see that Matt, Peter, Jane will all be notified first along with each other, Jane second, and me third. So anyone that submits this task list will have 3 layers of approval baked into it. And you can see that this is used to track both important dates like our webinar today, our Google Next that has unfortunately been canceled, and a PTO vacation that I have scheduled for the end of next month. You can also see that it tracks daily tasks. You have update icons and a few different projects. It allows you to check on the different notes for these projects, add due dates, and add links in here as well. And this all gets submitted directly to all 4 of these people. So when you submit the document, first, Matt's going to receive an email along with Peter, and they will approve it first, and then so on and so forth down the line here. You'll get a notification whenever that comes through, but for me, that won't be until Matt, Peter, and Jane have approved the process. This allows people to ensure that they're working towards very specific and shared goals. It allows you to track weekly progress for all of your different employees, and all of your different stakeholders can actually view those and approve those as necessary. A good thing to also remember when transitioning a team from working together in an office to being a more remote team is to properly convey your intentions and your emotions. Here at Collavate, we use digital communication more often than not. Sometimes our tone and emotion can be confused or lost in translation. Using emojis or images or even GIFs can significantly increase the visibility of the way you feel.
We know it might sound a little silly or even unprofessional to use emojis or GIFs within the company chats or emails, but when you're not having daily face-to-face interactions, it can be difficult to gauge where, for example, a project manager stands on a delayed deliverable, or how your manager feels about a time off request that's a bit short of notice. Using images and words simultaneously helps remove some of that guesswork, and it pays in droves to your rapport with other team members. In our day-to-day, we use emojis on a variety of platforms, from the baked-in reactions on posts to sending stickers and GIFs over chat. We do our best to keep each other informed of our mood and also our feelings.
And this brings us to our last and arguably one of the most important points of this webinar. Some of the greatest challenges you'll face working in a remote team can't be solved with technology. Some things, like I said before, require a softer touch and an investment of time beyond setting up some user accounts and inviting your team to a workspace.
That's right. See, it takes work from everyone on the team to communicate clearly and frequently, ensuring their work is being completed well, regardless of home-based distractions, or a difficulty in understanding, or perhaps a rogue cat. Remember to ask questions and be patient in the beginning. Let people get used to working from home in their new space and give them the tools to succeed. The rest will follow.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching today. And as always, if you have any questions, use the support link at the bottom of your Collavate homepage, or use the link in the description to contact our team directly.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Good luck, stay safe, and keep collaborating.